That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, I'm Sid Part 2. Joining me today is my co-host, Danny the Lizard, who has to sit on my arm in the most awkward way possible. Anyway, today we are doing another episode of Comic Reviews, so I hope you enjoy. And we've got a pretty good stack of comics today. No trade again, I'm working on it, but just been busy the last week and a half. I worked both jobs all week last week, so it was quite exhausting. Choose where you want to be. Arm, leg, arm of the chair, whatever. Anyway, so we're going to start out with the last book I read this week, which was Lando number 5. This is great. I'm loving the hell out of this book. Lando finds a way out of the situation. It's so a great con man kind of thing. Kind of sort of loses a friend as he goes. Yes, that's a comic book. Thank you for looking at it. Loses Lobot, kind of, sorta, and it's just really great stuff. There's this one scene in particular that I love to death, and I'm going to read that to you. And Danny's going to do his thing. Oh, where's it at? Like, everything seems to be going wrong here, but it keeps getting worse and worse. As things go. So, like, there's the guys that have kind of betrayed him because they've gotten seduced by the Sith, and they're gonna, try and kill Lando. But he talks him out of it because it's like, oh, well, it's a no-win situation, so if you go with me, maybe I can get us off the ship, blah, blah, blah. And Danny's off. Maybe I can get us off the ship, yada, yada, yada. And so, I'm gonna bring you closer here. So, like, he reasons them to do that, and the guy's like, okay, fine, let's see what you got, and he turns off his lightsaber, and Lando just says, yeah, and pulls out a blaster and shoots him twice, one in the hand that's holding the lightsaber, one in the chest, and he's talking to Lobot next scene, he goes, how did you do that? I thought you hate blasters. I was bluffing. Your entire life? Bluffing doesn't work if people know you're bluffing. Everyone knows Lando Calrissian doesn't fight. He gets by on charm, luck. Only ones who know different are dead. Like, that's awesome. God, I want to talk to Billy D. Williams and see if I can get him to voice this comic book, because that scene alone is one of the most amazing things ever. Now I'm looking for you. Hiding back and forth and all around the place. So this is really great. This is... if you like that, like, heist kind of crazy stakes, everything's against them situations, this is really the book to read. And I mean, look at the cover. He's playing poker with some shadowy figures. That's just awesome. Lando is fast becoming one of my favorite Star Wars characters because of this book. Like, I thought he was okay in the movies and everything. Like, he was always a cool character, but he was never, like, one of my guys. But this book did it for me, man. This is great stuff. I gotta close the door. Sorry. No, but this is really great stuff, and I highly recommend checking it out if you're a Star Wars fan and want some stuff from the expanded universe, because this is really, really cool and really, really fun. So no, I got a huge kick out of this, and it's still going, and it looks like we're setting up kind of a character arc for Lando that's going to get him Cloud City, which is really interesting. No, enjoyed the hell out of it. Awesome book. Definitely check it out if you ever get the chance. Star Wars Darth Vader, number 10. So we're getting more stuff with Naboo and Vader's attempt to track down Luke Skywalker and find out information about Luke Skywalker. And we're given the idea that Queen Amidala was buried looking like everyone believed she was still pregnant when she was buried, but they tracked down the mortician that took care of the body. And they torture him to get information and such. And the only information that he gives them is, yes, she had a son. It was taken by the Jedi. So they they're starting with like half the puzzle here, and that's really interesting and really, really fun. And we have this like evil C-3PO, which is just great. 000 is what he's called. He's just like this black C-3PO, and most of his programming, which most courtesy droids are programmed for like languages and you know, proper behavior and stuff. Most of that programming has been removed so that he can remember, like, so that he can know how to torture people. And that's really fascinating. So you get like that C-3PO really prim and proper kind of speech, but he's talking about killing people and torturing them and how much fun that is for him. So it's really, really great stuff. So it really is if Darth Vader truly did build C-3PO. I don't know. I missed some of the issues at the beginning, so I don't even know if he's the original C3, like if he was built by Darth Vader or not. It certainly seems that way. We get some background on this girl that's been working for Vader, and that's really cool. And like she gets, you know, a tragic backstory, but she doesn't like. I love the way she addresses it because she reveals her tragic backstory and everything. And the guy that they torture says, "I'm sorry to hear that," and she goes, "It was a war. Everyone has a sob story." Like, that's really great stuff. It's like this is the stuff that shaped me and made me who I am, and the tragic things in my life, but it's not important right now. Everyone has their shit. I have mine, you have yours, and here's the situation we're in. I love that. It's so direct, down to earth, just gritty and tough as nails kind of character. That's really cool. Like, this is the same girl that told Vader to just stick her in the back with a lightsaber if he was going to kill her. That's really great. She is an awesome character, and I'm really enjoying seeing her stuff. What else? Vader and this monocled dude are playing this cat and mouse game. And that's really interesting. This has a great cold open and a great cliffhanger moment at the end. So, like, Vader walks into this, thieves' den kind of thing, and he talks to, he's like the first one in the room, and he talks to the owner of it or whatever, the head crook. And, like, the very first panel is this head crook going, "Please, I surrender, I'll tell you everything." And Vader says, "Will you reveal to whom you sold explosives?" And the guy says, "Yes." And Vader says, "A shame," and cuts him in half with the lightsaber. Like, right before the other guy runs into the room. And that's really, really fascinating. But the other guy's able to break into the dude's safe, and it's going back and forth and creating this cat and mouse game. So that at the end of this, he says, or at the end of it, he's having a conversation with the girl, and she goes, "Any other problems on the horizon?" And he says, "My current adjutant is somewhat eager and enthusiastic." She's like, "Anything to worry about?" He says, "I have no fears. He suspects nothing." And then the last panel is of, like, a bug. Like a monitoring device right behind Vader's head. You can see it kind of in that panel of Vader's head, but there's, like, the up-close view of it. I almost wish they didn't have that panel in there, because that would make... Like, I love comic books building on mystery and subterfuge and stuff, and they can do something that books can't do and movies can do. So they're a nice bridge, because they can take the time to build a mystery and really make it super complex the way a book can, but the way a movie can't. But they can also have things in the background that you don't necessarily notice your first time getting through it the way a movie can. Whereas a book, it has to tell you every detail. So, like, it has to bring your attention to it. This, I would have liked if we just stopped one panel short. I would have liked more than I already do if we'd stopped one panel short. Because I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, it's a bug. And then I saw the last panel, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely a bug. So I think it would have been cooler to build on that more. But, great stuff here. I absolutely adore it. This Darth Vader book is fantastic, and it's making the prequels better. Not much better, but it's making them mean something, which is good. So yeah, that's awesome, and I haven't been reading the other Star Wars books, but I saw Darth Vader's got a trade out now. I might pick up the other Star Wars book and trade. We'll see what happens with that. Now let's move on past Star Wars. And now we're back at Grant Morrison's 18 Days, number 4. This is finally getting really cool. Like, I've been enjoying it, and I thought it was really interesting, like, mythology and stuff, but now we're starting to get into the battle, and that's, like, really, really awesome. It's kind of like this, this futuristic old world battle. Like, they have arrows and archers and stuff, but like every arrow can kill 1,000 people in one blow. Like there's all this. It's like myth meets old world battle meets futuristic technology, and it's just cool. And we got like 6 million people on one side of the battlefield versus 4 million people on the other side. That's insane. This is just getting epic. Like this, fuck Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings can go eat a dick. This is amazing. I mean, shit, this even has war elephants, so what's not to like? But yeah, it's like the battle's only the last couple pages, and it looks like I'm hoping at least that we'll get an entire issue of battle. Like no real dialogue or anything, just because I'd like, or sure, put dialogue in it, but I'm hoping for an entire issue where it's just the battle. Like we don't see anything else but them fighting. I don't know, I just think that'd be really cool, and like, you know, you get some exchanges, sure, or some like orders yelled, but I think just a whole issue of battle would be great, because we've had 4 issues building up to it, and we only get a couple pages of it, and what we get is awesome to see. Because they have this whole strategy of, oh, we'll use archers to keep them back, and that'll be our main advantage in this battle, and that's how we'll defeat them. And just in this short section of the beginning of the battle we see, their archers are gone. So it's immediately this huge issue. And we have the other side of the battle, the main guy on the other side, at Arjuna, who's like very reluctant to battle. Like he's been drawing this out. It's because of his character that was drawn out for an entire issue and now into like the majority of another issue. And so he's very against the idea of battling because he can tell he's going to have to kill a lot of people, and they're all family, they're all cousins, and he doesn't want to do that. And that's a really interesting character. He's this reluctant warrior, reluctant hero kind of character, where he just wants, you can tell he just wants peace. He wants an excuse not to do this, and he's looking for forgiveness for what he's about to do. And Krishna tells him, you have to. It is your destiny. You are going to fight the last battle of the Third Age and the first battle of the Fourth Age. Because that's what this is. This is a battle to end this age of history, this age of mythology that they've been talking about so far. And so his destiny is to usher in that next age, to lead that age that they're going into. And so he, even though he's reluctant about it, it's what he's destined to do, which is really fascinating. It's just a really friggin' cool book. It's a lot of fun. It's fascinating. I feel like I'm learning something too. Like I'm learning about, you know, this Indian myth that it's all based in, and so that's really cool. And you know, it's well handled. It's really fascinating. Great book. Just it's fun, it's cool, it's epic, it's awesome. Really good week this week in comics, I gotta tell you. It was kind of sour on stuff last week. Really good week right now. But that's about to change. I'm playing. It's not that bad. There's only one issue that I didn't really like this week, and that is Batman Beyond #5. This was the best issue of this book I've read lately. That being said, it's still not particularly good. There's some cool stuff in it, but it is really trying to be Scott Snyder's Batman Beyond, because it's got all this stuff that's just homaging Zack Snyder. Like, last issue ended with the frickin' bunny suit. And then this issue, after the bunny suit becomes useless after defeating Superman, defeating Superman, even though the bunny suit doesn't even defeat Superman. Tim Drake just pops out of it and shoves a kryptonite ring down Superman's throat, and then Micron crushes him. I think that's his name, right? He's like really, wanting people to remember his name. Micron, yeah. Micron crushes cybernetic Brother Eye Superman, and Tim Drake just punches Superman in the face with the kryptonite ring, and then shoves it down his throat, and then Micron crushes him. So, I don't know, like, the bunny suit just kind of takes care of the cannon fodder enemies that have been converted by Brother Eye, who are just, cybernetic humans, so the stakes don't feel that high about what the bunny suit did, and they've pretty much established that it's already useless. So what do? They go to some abandoned house out in the middle of nowhere, and they find an owl, and he says, "Beware the Court of Owls that watches all the time." So now we're going to Court of Owls shit. I'm just so sick of Scott Snyder's Batman. I can't get away from it at this point, and that's frustrating. When Grant Morrison was writing Batman, everyone was doing something different. So if you didn't like Grant Morrison's Batman, you could distance yourself from it. Right now, it's in everything. I feel I'm disliking Scott Snyder's Batman more and more as it affects other things, because it's already something I don't like, and now I'm not able to escape it with something I love. So it's actively making things that I love worse. And I mean, that's certainly not the only problem with this book. Like I said, I don't feel like it's Batman Beyond anymore, because Tim Drake clearly isn't Batman Beyond. Nothing against Tim Drake. If you're a Tim Drake fan, sure, fine, whatever. But just let him be someone else's Batman. Don't take it away from Terry McGinnis. The Batman Beyond book that was coming out before this was so much better. Like, insultingly better. It ended on kind of an iffy note, but it's miles above this. And also, the idea that the Batman Beyond costume, the suit in Batman Beyond, is several generations above the Batman bunny suit makes no damn sense. Because in an issue of Scott Snyder's Batman, we see Bruce Wayne find in the garbage the Batman Beyond suit. He's like, why aren't we using this? And like, oh, it's not cost effective. Now, beyond that not making any damn sense, that was at least a cool reference. So, like, now I guess this is story over continuity. I just wish the story didn't suck. That's not fair. This issue I did enjoy the most out of all of the issues I've read of it, but it's still not good. It's just killing me right now. There's one moment in this that I really like, where Tim's talking about all the different people who became Robin. And he's like, once Damian came along, things really got awkward. The family business was the son's to inherit. Red Robin was my own thing, and that's probably why I felt more comfortable as a Teen Titan. And Barbara says, yet here you are. The suit has fully conformed to your build, blah, blah, blah. And Tim goes, funny how things work out. Of all of us, I figured I'd be the last one to end up as Batman. So, like, I like that. I like the idea that Tim has to accept that he's becoming Batman and how he's really always wanted that, but not at a cost to anyone. And, I mean, certainly came at a cost to Terry McGinnis, but it's not at a cost to anyone that he knew. Like, in order for Tim to be Batman, Bruce always had to die, along with Dick, and I guess Damian as well. So, like, that would be too big a cost, so he figured he'd never really get the chance to become Batman. And now that he is, it's like, oh, I'm excited to be Batman, but I'm really kind of bad at it. What's up with the Spider-Man theme in Batman lately? I don't get that. People don't know how to write Batman suddenly. I mean, you think with all the Batman we're getting, someone would know how to write Batman? Batman doesn't constantly screw up. Like, Batman's the character that if he makes a mistake, it's fine to write a story wherein Batman makes a mistake. But Batman is constantly screwing up left and right in the comics right now. And that's just poor writing. If the only way you can think of to create drama and a premise or an excuse to have action happen in your book is to have Batman screw up, then you shouldn't be writing Batman. You should go over to Marvel and be writing Spider-Man. Because that's a problem for Spider-Man, but at least it's consistent with him. Batman thinks of everything. And I get, oh, well, that's unrealistic or blah, blah, blah. It's a fucking comic book. My problems probably aren't entirely with this. This I don't love, but this issue I enjoyed more. This has its moments. This is certainly getting to a place where I might like it eventually. If it continues in this quality, at least it won't be god-awful anymore. But my frustration's really coming with what's wrong with Batman right now. And a lot of that goes to the voice Scott Snyder has given the character, and the fact that that's selling as well as it is. Yeah, it's a real problem. Maybe Azzarello will take over the book and win me back over on his side, because I'm iffy on Azzarello at best. But, I don't know, I saw he's writing it with Scott Snyder for the last issue, and that he helped write the annual. Please, for the love of God, let Azzarello take over that book. Anyone else. Fucking Rob Liefeld can come in and write Batman, and I'd be happy. Tony Daniel can come back to writing Batman, and I'll be happy. But right now, it's just awful. It's the worst the book has ever been as far as my reading of it. And sure, I haven't been on for, decades upon decades, but God, this is terrible. One of the worst books I'm reading right now, and it's affecting other things, which is a problem. God damn it. Fuck, shit. Okay. Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman, number 15. Yay! It's back! The last two issues I was kind of just iffy on. Like, I really loved the trade, and then I started getting it in singles, and the issues are kind of okay. What happened? Now we're back to form. Here we go. We're back to a two-story format. The first one involves Cheetah. The second one involves a lion. Not like a villain called Lion, but literally a lion. So the first story is about, like, really interestingly, in fact, about the collateral damage associated with superhero battles, the accidental deaths associated with superhero battles, and the fact that supervillains keep breaking out of the prisons they're put into. So we have a character in this who becomes a district attorney because he wants to put supervillains away and make sure they stay locked up and not give them the opportunity to escape. I can't remember the guy's name. I'm terrible with names, guys. I apologize. Sean. The guy's name is Sean. He's district attorney. So the cheetah's on trial, and they're discussing whether or not to move her to keep her at a maximum security metahuman facility, or to move her to a place that has metahuman patients, but will treat her psychologically, and but it's got a lower level of security. And they call Wonder Woman in to testify in the trial whether or not to move, or in the hearing whether or not to move her, since it's not a trial. And Wonder Woman says yes, she needs help, but the security protocols at this other facility are not up to snuff and will not be able to hold her, so I don't recommend moving her. And the judge ultimately decides that it's still her right to try to get better, so we're going to move her. And along the way, they can't even send her by helicopter. Along the way, in the SWAT van and police car lineup, she escapes, and she takes a family member into a hotel ballroom or whatever, and is getting ready to kill her. And Wonder Woman's trying to convince her to stop, trying to talk the woman out of Cheetah. They're going with a cheetah that's kind of like a dual personality thing. Her origins all over the goddamn place. They're going with the cheetah that's like a dual personality thing, so she's trying to convince the woman inside Cheetah to fight back, to not let herself be taken over, not let the cheetah kill her family. And she just can't do it. She can't convince her otherwise. But luckily, she's able to take the cheetah out before anyone is killed, at least. And Sean gets to save a guy. Excuse me. Sean gets to save a guy who's who's injured somehow in all the commotion. He's able to perform CPR on him and save the guy's life. So he gets a little thing. Sean's character, actually, he lost his sister in an event associated with the Scarecrow. So that's what his motivation was and stuff. And so he got a nice little payoff, and Wonder Woman was able to defeat Cheetah. So the day is saved for now, but that's the thing, is it's just for now. And we're wondering what to do in the future. How do we continue to deal with this problem? What do we do about these super criminals? Do we get them treatment, or do we just lock them away? Do we try to solve the problem, or do we just hide it? Really fascinating stuff. Really great stuff. This book is not only fun, but it's really informative. It's very up on issues, which I really like. It not only real life issues, because you can obviously take that and start to wonder about prison reform and stuff in real life, but just in those fictional world, what the fuck do we do with super criminals? It's the day-to-day workings of the superhero society are always really fascinating to me. Grant Morrison did some great stuff with that in Seven Soldiers of Victory that I highly recommend checking out if anyone gets the chance. We did a Geeky Gentleman on it as well, so it's a lot of fun to read that kind of stuff, and I always get a kick out of it, so definitely worth checking this out. So that was the first story. The second story involves a guy who had a pet lion, and now doesn't know what to do with it because it's big, and so he's starving it so it doesn't hurt anybody. And Wonder Woman gives him this story from her youth about what she did with what does her mom call him? Her mom teaches her a lesson in a very Greek way of send your child out to the woods to be attacked by lions, and that'll teach you a lesson. And she comes home with the lions, and her mother tells her, well done, daughter. This one is called patience, and this grand old fellow is called fortitude. And so the guy says, and your mom lets you keep those things? And Wonder Woman says, they have never left me. Patience and fortitude. So it's this lesson about if you're gonna have something, you have to be patient. You have to have the resolve to deal with it whenever problems might arise. And that's really fascinating. It's a really great, like, moral tale, moral of the story kind of thing. And I don't know, I think it's actually quite a useful lesson for anyone that might have pets. Talking to you bastard. Kidding. He's looking at me, he looks all sad now. No, this is a really fun book. Just the entire book itself and this issue talks about a lot of interesting things, and just the idea of being responsible for something else in the second story is really fascinating. Really, really great stuff to have Wonder Woman discuss. And I really like stuff when we see Wonder Woman as a little girl on Paradise Island. That's always really fun to me. So, like, she talks about how she kind of always annoyed her, like, the Amazon Council. What the fuck ever. She always annoyed the Amazon Council, and so her mother would send her to do things to get them out of her hair. She'd set me out on little quests. Diana, bring me a flower from the topmost branch of the tallest tree on Mount Ida. Bring me a gold ring from the bottom of the Black Tarn. Bring me the biggest amethysite you can find from the frozen waterfall. So it's just like we see her doing these little quest things, which is really fun. And this last story was actually written and drawn by the same person. And I don't love the art style here. Clara Speed McNeil. Carla Speed McNeil. So she drew and wrote it, and I don't know, I think some of her proportions are a little off. Like this panel of Wonder Woman lying down on a lion, lying on a lion, lying on a lion, lying on a lion. Like, the proportions just look a little off. It looks a little medieval. If you ever look at medieval art, the proportions are always really weird. Like, the heads are bigger because that's where you want more detail, and then the bodies tend to be a little smaller depending on the situation and the stature of the person. And so, like, that's the only thing I can think of. Her head just looks, like, gigantic compared to the rest of her body. And so that's a little weird. I don't know, it's just kind of a... I don't know if I believe the pose. Maybe. I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't love the art, but it's not bad. I just think she may have overexerted herself a little bit on it. I feel like she maybe just tried to do too many panels or too many things. I feel like the script demanded more time than the art she could produce gave. So, I don't know. I don't hate the art or anything. It's just, it's not my favorite part of it. I think I would have liked it more if someone else had drawn it, probably. But still a really good story, really good book. Last issue of the week, Action Comics, number 43. Now this is more of the stuff I was talking about. We're still dealing with Superman, who's, depowered now, and it's kind of like this social outcast in a lot of ways, but he's still trying to be Superman, and so he's become, it's like the Superman issue. Like, we got like the marriage debate, and the abortion issue, and then, like, I don't know, fucking deficit, and then Superman. It's like this national issue, this national crisis that we're all talking about, and like we need to decide what we're gonna do about the Superman issue. And so people are like having debates about it in restaurants and yelling at each other and stuff, and he's dealing with just the bullshit of having to live on the run because of Lois Lane. Really, really fun stuff though. The writer is incredibly aware of how big of a social impact Superman would have and would be in reality, which is really fun. I also really like that Hiro... Oh, how do you say his name? Hiro Akamura. No. I want to... Is that the same guy from Big Hero 6? I know Big Hero 6 was a comic first. I don't think so. That can't be right. Nah, that can't be it. I think that's a Marvel property, though. Isn't it? One moment, please. It's gonna drive me crazy if it's not the case. Hiro Akamura. Not Nakamura. You jackass phone. Oh. Not the guy from Heroes. Too many Japanese characters in comic book and superhero properties are called hero. I get why you'd want to do it. Quit. It's a cliche. Hiro Akamura. Really thing? Alright, fine. I give up. If someone knows in the comments below, please enlighten me, but I don't know, that's a weird coincidence then. Or I guess maybe it's just a cliche that every comic book character that is Asian has to be named Hero now. So anyway, he shows up and Superman tells him to hit the road because he doesn't want to be found by anyone. And Superman's kind of like Batman right now. He's got a secret lair, but he blew it up because it was compromised. Oh, what else? Superman has infiltrated a company. An expedient means must just be masturbating all over this book. Superman has infiltrated a big budget company and found out that it's secretly running Nazi-like torture chambers in the back. Or experiments or something, God knows what. It's secretly evil. So Superman goes in, he busts everything up, but it looks like, as with Superman often, that he leaped before looking and ended up doing the wrong things. And so, like, he may have been attacking people who are actually trying to help fight the Wrath. Who is this, like, black boiling enemy that Superman's been dealing with. Otherwise, though, just in general, I'm liking this book. Like I say, I wish it'd been a little more down-to-earth and grounded for a while before going complete comic book. I wouldn't have a problem with it eventually going comic book or with something over-the-top comic book being, you know, the driving force behind everything. But it's that everything is this over-the-top comic book stuff. The public doesn't seem to know that, to be aware of that. But at the same time, I feel like I'd enjoy it more. Like, I mean, the public in the comic book, they don't seem to be aware that it's all crazy alien conspiracy stuff. But I think I would enjoy it more if it wasn't that. If it was just grounded at first, or the majority of it was grounded, and then the other stuff was over the, or like the driving force maybe was over the top. But that's kind of been my thing I keep going back to with every issue of this. So I'll try to move past that. Otherwise, I am enjoying it. With that in mind, with the fact that everything's going to be over the top, and it's going to be affecting things at the ground level that the public isn't aware of that it's over the top. Like I said, I'm really liking that Superman is a public issue in a different way than he's ever been. It's now that he's an alien and that he pretended to be human for so many years and that he put people in danger because of that's really making people nervous and freaking people out. No, I think I'm sorry, I don't have a ton to say about this issue. I think it's good. I think it's certainly telling a Superman story that's unique, which is really saying something. But I just don't have a ton to say about it. It's not quite what I'd hoped for, obviously, but I'm still enjoying it for the most part. So yeah, that's this issue. And that is this week's comic reviews, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time, I'm Sid Part 2, and I'll be reviewing things. I'm also I'm also Aquaman.